The views expressed on this show do not reflect arch rival, Adidas, or any other companies associated with them. With that being said, enjoy.
Hey DJ, play that 5.
I woke up in beast mode with my girl that's Beauty and the Beast though. Been side five, these niggas sleep though. Only thing that sold out is the C-store. Out there you stand before me and I respect my authority. If you my glory, I'ma drop the L and get gory. I done did everything and said worry. Hella drama, my life story. Faith of a mustard seed, I kept growing. I knew that this life was meant for me. People change that one.
No! 3 strikes! 3 strikes! 3 strikes!
All right, everybody, welcome. Today is Tuesday, November the 15th, and we are on our 17th episode of the podcast. Cannot believe it, but we have a awesome episode for you guys planned today. Since Adidas is all about the creator brand, that's been our tagline for about a year now. We definitely wanted to talk to some creators in themselves, and our first guy up is out of Arizona, right, John?
Yeah, definitely. We're very fortunate to have Randy, the global Cobbler, on the show today. I know that's a nickname you gave him earlier, so hopefully it sticks. But super dope guy, and obviously everybody that's out there that knows anything about Adidas knows that we started with Adi Dassler. Adi Dassler founded Adidas. He was an actual shoe cobbler, so that's why I have so much appreciation for our brand, because it goes back to the way we started. And, Randy's one of those people that are out there killing it, doing his craft, and we're really happy to have him on the show today. So, Randy, man, thank you for joining the show today.
No, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be on the show.
Well, go ahead and tell the people your experience with being a shoe cobbler, how you're a third-generation shoe cobbler. Let them know all the details, man.
Okay, so I'm like you said, I'm a third-generation cobbler. I'm 27 years old. My grandfather was a sandal maker back in Guatemala, and from there he picked up shoe repair, anything in shoes. He was making shoes, making sandals, making repairing shoes, and my dad obviously picked it up as a little kid. When my dad came here to the States, he was more of a shoemaker, but found that the need for a shoe repairman was more in demand. It kept you busy more. So he came here. He met Jesse, who ran his shop here in Tempe, Arizona. From there, they became best friends, and when it came time for Jesse to retire, he left the shop to my dad. And that's where I learned everything I know now from my dad, from Jesse, from my grandpa, because he comes and visits every now and then from Guatemala. And he's 88 now, but he's still got it. And we credit this because he keeps his hands busy, he keeps his mind, fresh, and we keep it going. And that's how it all started there with the third generation part.
Wow, man. And I mean, to be third generation anything is definitely something that's applaudable, but in that shoe cobbler industry, I feel like there's a whole bunch of different hustles and things that you got to do on an everyday basis just to get your name out there. And I know, for example, there's trade shows, there's different things like that, but then you go from like a regular trade show to like Complex Con. And so I know Complex Con just took place and you were able to take part in that. So tell people a little bit about Complex Con and what you were able to do up there. Yeah,
for sure. Well, Complex Con, it was basically a social media in real life. I mean, they had all the biggest brands there, Nike, Adidas. It was a very cool experience. And we went, I took our small team here that included family and longtime friends that have been helping, have seen this all grow. And, we basically set up like a gallery look where people could kind of see what we've done in the past. And if they were interested, they could talk to me, and I was taking orders. And it was a very fun experience. It's something that I'd never, like you said, jumping from, like a trade show to Complex Con, it was a completely different experience. There was no time to eat, no time to go to the bathroom. It was constantly, meet and greets, getting to, talk to all these cool, interesting people, all these cool celebrities that came by and took a look at what we were doing. And I never even had a chance to look at the whole show. I only stayed in my little corner. That's the only thing that I'm looking back at, and I wish I would have had a chance to walk around. But it was great. People loved the shoes. There was this one pair that we made. It was like last minute, and it was basically a mix of a moccasin with an NMD boost sole. And we almost didn't have time to finish that shoe to take to the show, but I'm glad we did. because it was a hit. That's what everyone was looking at. Everyone was photographing. And shout out to my little sister, Cindy, because she was able to help get the final details on it because I was rushing around to get everything done. And we got that out, and I'm glad we did. And among some other Adidas projects and some Nike stuff in there as well. But no, it was awesome. It was something. It's hard to explain how, exactly how it is without, being there. But it's literally like you were going through, like, the way I know I'm more familiar with Instagram, and it's like you're just going through this constant feed of all these cool things, all these cool people, all this cool, delicious food. And so it was awesome.
That's what's up, man. We're super jealous. We wish we could make it out there, but I'm pretty sure next year, man, that's got to be on our bucket list, right, Ray, man? We got to make it out there.
For sure. We got it.
Yeah, no, it was nice. You guys will be able to. It's awesome.
While we're on the subject of Comic-Con, was there anybody that you were, like, starstruck by or taken back, like any celebrities that you met or ran into?
There was. So there's a lot of cool people, like French Montana. Honestly, there's a lot of people there that I know there's somebody, but because I'm always at the shop working and stuff like that, I'm not really up to date with all the culture stuff, the celebrities at least. But I recognized French Montana. I recognized Trinidad James. I recognized. I was really excited to meet Jeff Staple. He stopped by and said hi, and that was really cool of him to take a look at what I was doing, and that was. And it's actually a funny story with Staple that he was at Agenda in Vegas, and he was walking into an elevator, and my friend of mine, the guy that does the pictures, he was like, "Go for it," and he pushed me kind of towards the elevator, and I went in there because I wanted to say hi to him, but I froze, and so he's standing there with his group, and I go, "Hi, my name is Randy Lucas. I have a booth in Agenda if you have a minute to stop by." At least that's what I wanted to say, but then my words kind of just slurred, and I gave him the weakest handshake ever. And that was, and I felt awful. And I was like, holy crap, hopefully, I get to redeem myself someday. And then he was like, all right, well, nice meeting you. And he's a real cool guy. And he's like, I got to go, and this is my floor. And so he took off. And, of course, I told Mike about the experience, and he was like, it was hilarious. But what happened now in Complex Con, he came by the booth, and Mike basically came up to me. He's like, this is the way it should be. Go say hi. And I don't think he remembered that at all because he meets all sorts of people all the time. And so I introduced myself, showed him what I was doing. And, of course, the problem was that there was so much people coming through the booth. He recognized that, and he was like, let me let you get back to work. We'll connect later. So that was really cool of him to stop by, take a look. And I think it was the NMD one that caught his attention. He was picking it up and examining it. And, of course, he's known for all these cool designs that he does with his brand Staple. And so it was that was, I think, one of my favorite people that I met. And at the very end of the show, someone came by. It was like 7:30. Everyone was finishing up. And I know him as Steve Urkel. He came by, and I think his name is it Jalil White?
Yeah,
Jalil White.
Or
he came
AKA
by.
Stefan.
Yeah, correct. And he came by, and I froze too because I grew up watching that show, Family Matters, and I was like, whoa, and of course I didn't have cards, but his manager was there, and he handed me a card. He's like, he wants a couple pairs, so when you get a chance, email me, and we'll get that going. But because I grew up watching him, that was exciting to see. And it's funny because I had just seen a commercial before I left, and he was driving like a Toyota car, and he had a mannequin of him, and he was driving the car, and the mannequin was his passenger. I forget what the commercial was about, but I saw it before I left, and so it was funny to see that I didn't even know he was there, but he stopped by the booth, and he was very excited. And you know how his eyes kind of are like a big characteristics of his face. So his eyes like were bulging out, and he loved everything. So it was awesome for him to stop by. And those are Jeff Staple and Steve Urkel were my favorite people to stop by. And of course my fiance and my daughter made it, so that was awesome too. They helped me out Sunday, and I mean a big shout out to Vivi, my fiance, because she helped me. Everyone else had to kind of leave, and it was just her and I that had to finish up cleaning up everything. And so it took a little while, but we got it all up and packed away with my little daughter there too, and she got to see the whole experience too. So I was excited about that for sure.
That's what's up, man. Behind every boss man is a boss lady, so definitely, man, she's holding you down.
For sure. She keeps me on point. She's a big part of why I'm doing this, because when we met, we've been together now for about 4.5 years, she saw what I did, and she's like, you need to put this online. You need to show people what you're doing. And she opened an Instagram for me, and, well, the rest is what we see now.
Definitely, and the rest is history, as they say. So let's dive into the shoes. So, Jonathan, you got the first question.
Cool, man. So I know everybody loves shoes. Like, there's so many sneakerheads out there. But being a shoe cobbler, you're, like, literally invested in the shoe. So tell me why you love being a shoe cobbler more than anything else.
I like knowing the construction of a shoe. I like, that there's how a shoe properly works, what works and what doesn't work. Obviously, you get a lot of the stuff that doesn't work at the shop to fix it, to alter it, to redo something. But I think a big part I do like of the cobbler aspect is that it's a brick and mortar shop that we've had now for about 60 years, and it's that personal connection you make with everyone. You get to see them, they're not in all the time, but you get to make these personal, relationships with them. You can talk shoes, you can talk anything, and it's something that I really liked because they saw me, grow up at the shop. They saw everything worked out, and it's always cool to have like a nice little local presence and have a local business, and it's a small business, but I think that's one aspect that I like about it. And that it's with shoes, something that I like already. It's a really nice combination, and it's been fun. And that's why I kind of I kept the cobbler part in what I do, because a big part of it is that personal connection with the individual to fix the shoe, to fix the design, to do whatever it is we need to do. But the person, and that's why you work around what they like to make something that they'll wear and that's comfortable for them.
The thing that I love about what Randy does the most, honestly, is like there's tons and tons of people that have that gift of being able to fix a shoe or to restore a shoe, but the fact that you can throw a little alteration or tailor a shoe to the specific person is, I think, the secret sauce. I think that's the amazing part. Like how you took the moccasin and threw it on the NMD, and now all of a sudden, like that might bring up a whole new line of Adidas shoes that Adidas wasn't even trying to get into, with like a casual shoe, and it's just some inspiration that you might have had. So I definitely talk about where that inspiration came from for that one particular, and then we would love to hear also about, like, I know you did some alterations on like Ultra Boost and NMD with the lacing, and then you even had your own human race shoes that came out. So I guess talk a little bit about like the alteration side of it and how you're able to really capture a unique kind of aspect of the shoe, depending on if it's the person or, what inspiration that comes from. And then definitely, do a little humble brag. Talk about all those variations that you did that look so cool on Instagram.
Well, it's cool because the story of the Adidas NMD is pretty cool. There's been a lot of people asking me for a while to make it. And it was inspired by the very first one we did, which was a Huarache that was inspired by someone that was like, I want to be able to mix the best of both worlds, a moccasin that's already comfortable with a Huarache, which is an EVA sole that has, a lot of good support. And from there, it's just grown to all these different styles. But the NMD in particular, this guy reached out about, I think it was about a couple months ago, and his brother had been injured in, I believe it was a side road bombing in Iraq, and they flew him back here, to recuperate, and he's basically, it looks like he's about ready to start walking again. And he was like, I'd love to have one of your shoes for when he's ready to walk, because it's a comfortable, easy shoe to put on for him, for when he starts taking his first steps again. And I couldn't say no. I was like, of course I'm going to, make you a pair. Let's do it. And from there, I was able to finish it right before the show, so I had something to display. Now I just shipped them back to him, so he should be getting them any day, and hopefully his brother loves them. But, yeah, that's the story behind that one, because there's been a lot of people asking for the NMD on the moccasin, but I was almost waiting for, like, the right moment to do it, and this seemed like the perfect moment to do it for him. And it's just something like I wanted to be able to help him out, and it makes sense. The comfortable shoe, it's an easy shoe to put on, and since he's going to be starting to walk again, it's easy for him to slip it on and off and go from there. And it's a stylish shoe too, so he's got both the best worlds right there.
Amazing story, and yeah, that is definitely the best of both worlds right there. I'm gonna have to send you up some moccasins because that would be a dope thing. It was such a dope idea. We had to put it as the cover art for sure of the episode. So let's dive into some more alterations because I think that's definitely the secret sauce to what you do. Talk about the NMD alteration that you were able to do.
I'll give you a little story about that one. So it was a prime knit NMD, and that one came in, and they were just like, can you do something different to it? And I was like, all right, well, what exactly? He's like, do you want to keep your upper, or do you want me to do something completely different? He's like, I've seen you relace some shoes before. Have some fun relacing these. And so I have a buddy here. His name is Mike, and he helps me with a lot of my photography. And we go back and forth a lot because he's really fashion forward. He likes, he just knows how to fit a shoe. And so I was at home with my daughter. She just turned 7 months, so she's like grabbing everything and playing around. And so I was with her. We were like in her little high chair, and I was just playing with the laces, and I was sending pictures back and forth with Mike. And this idea came up that I'm a fan of the Presto. And then he's like, you know what shoe has a similar Presto look? That Huarache. But I think it's like the Huarache HM or something like that. But they have like a lace that goes into the sole, and then you lace it on the top, so it has two different laces on it. And so I was going back and forth with different pictures and different angles of the shoe until we hit something that I liked, and it was basically embedding the lace into the boost. The threads ran along the side to, obviously for that minimal branding look, that subtle look. And then from there you just lace it on the top. And that's the most recent one we've done. And since then, I mean, that one's been very popular. People are shipping me their NMDs from all over the world to just relace them. So that's been pretty cool. And that one it literally just started with just a bunch of back and forth with Mike trying to find the right look for it. And I didn't know it was going to be that big of a hit, but it was.
That's what's up, man. So we usually ask people, like, what are their favorite 3 Adidas shoes? But in this case, you're definitely way different than any other guest that we had on the show. So what are your 3 favorite Adidas shoes that you designed and made yourself?
Oh, okay. Let's see. I like that question. Let's start with 3, I think, would be the Boost, the NMD mock hybrid, that one that we just did. That one's definitely, I like how it sits. It looks natural. It doesn't look like it was something that was altered. So I really like that one, and I like the story behind it because there's going to be more coming out, but the initial one, I like that we were able to get something for his brother. So that would be probably number 3. Number 2 would be the one we just talked about, the embedded lacing on the prime knit NMD. It's such a simple alteration, but it makes the shoe just fit much better, and it almost gives it a higher end look, something like a Y3 that a lot of people like, and it doesn't need, and it's a quick turnaround time too. People send them, and I can get them out in a couple weeks versus some other projects that take months. So I like that part about it. So that would be probably my number 2. And I think the number 1 is I called it the RTC Human Race, inspired obviously by Pharrell's Human Race and his collaboration with Adidas. And that one was basically born by, as soon as I got back from ComplexCon, all I was seeing over there was, it was obviously a show, curated by him among other people, but he was a big part of it. And so his shoes were everywhere. And I don't have that, because you almost need to know someone to get those shoes, or you got to be in one of the bigger cities that supply them. And here in Arizona, we don't have a store like that yet, so it wasn't something that was available, and I didn't know anyone that had an account that I could say, hey, could you save me a pair, ship me a pair? And so I was like, let me see if I can make something similar. And before I left the ComplexCon, I had this shoe just sitting there. I basically had stripped the shoe off. It was the base of a Pure Boost, and I stripped all the straps off of it except one set of straps. And from there, I altered that strap, and at the end, I just ended removing it because the Human Race just has that quarter lacing that just goes over the top of the foot. And once I added that to the shoe, I was like, I think I have something nice here. And I posted it on Instagram, and from there I just got tons of people asking if I was going to make more. And I initially said, yeah, let's do 10. Those sold out within half an hour. And I still had people asking, and I went back to the initial 10 guys that ordered. I was like, hey, guys, I want to open 10 more because there's a lot of people here, and I don't, as I guess they say, and I don't like handing out too many L's. So I was like, I want to be able to at maybe, you know, just another 10 and hopefully get the guys that were all bummed out that they didn't get it. And they were all completely okay with it. They're like, yeah, no, go for it. Launch another 10. And we did, and those, of course, sold out within the next half hour. And now it's just time to make them. So I'm just waiting for all the parts to get to the shop to finish them up, and then we ship them out. But I think that's probably my favorite right now. And they're all pretty recent within the last month.
Well, you know, before we get you off the line, man, go ahead and let people know your social media, where they can follow you at. That way they want to see some of your dope work, man. They definitely know where to go.
Awesome. Okay, so I only have Instagram. That's all I really use because it's just images and a little bit of information you put on it. It's Randy the Cobbler, at Randy the Cobbler. And, I mean, if you Google it, I'm sure there's stuff there you can find. And we're here in Tempe, Arizona. I always like saying that because that's a big question everyone gets. You're like, you're based out in New York or L.A., right? I'm like, no, we're here in Arizona. We're doing it in Arizona, and I'm proud that we're doing it here. So it's my city. It's where I grew up, and I want to do this as long as I can here in Arizona.
Nah, super dope, man. And let Adidas know that there's sneakerheads in Arizona. Like, don't get it twisted. It's not just L.A. or New York.
For sure. We're here, and I'm actually this morning at the shop, I was able to reserve one slot for someone here in Arizona. His name is Chris, and he was excited to get a pair, and I was letting him know, hey, you know, you're the only one that was able to get the pair in Arizona. You were quick enough to, you know, get all the deposit and everything down. And so I'm excited to do like a photo shoot with him because he's a real fashionable dude too. And actually have it here in its hometown being, you know, represented. And so he just came by today to do the deposit and everything. And so I'm excited that at least one pair stays here in Arizona because a lot of the other ones, New Zealand, Australia, New York, L.A., they're going everywhere else.
Global icon, man. That's Randy the Cobbler, the global cobbler. I think we need to tag that as like.
I like that. I like that a lot. That's a good one.
It's really growing. You don't owe me anything. That'd be dope. The global cobbler. I mean, with that, what's the future like for the global cobbler? You know, what's in store for you next?
There's a lot of stuff that I'm working with actual companies now because the problem I have is I'm only one guy, and I do have the help of my dad and my brother Andy. He helps me a lot too. But we're still limited, and I wish that I would be able to produce, because I feel like if I could have done like 100 of these human races, I would have been able to do more, but I would need the help of like a factory or something like that. So a lot of people have recognized that, and so some names that it looks like we'll be doing stuff with is like Clark's, Minnetonka Moccasin. We'll be doing something with them soon. We're doing stuff with local shops here like Manor here in Phoenix and High Point, another boutique here in Arizona. We're doing a lot of stuff, and I think the biggest thing that I'm looking forward to is using the company's infrastructures that they have, so we can produce more to be able to have the people that want it that they can get it, and not just, you know, me always be behind and stressing on all these orders. So hopefully that it looks like it's going towards that way, and I'm excited for that. And I mean, if Adidas is interested in doing something, I'm always welcome with that. But that's what we hope to be doing here soon, and I'm excited about that. And of course, we've got other shows coming up, but I'm not exactly sure on all the details yet. So once I get that all down, I'm sure I'll have it up on the website.
Man, facts. That's what Kanye said in the song Facts, man. Tell Adidas that we
exactly
in production. We need it.
Right. All you need is the infrastructure. Exactly.
No, it's super dope, man. And no, sincerely, man, from the bottom of our hearts, me and Jonathan, we appreciate you joining the show today. And God bless and good luck in the rest of your endeavors, man.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you.
Our guy, Randy, thank you again. The Global Cobbler. I definitely think we should go ahead and trademark that name. It's so fitting for somebody as humble as himself and somebody that does such great work. So appreciate him. Last week on our episode, we actually had our first ever contest, and shout out to our guest last week, Mr. DJ Wavy, who actually dropped a new song yesterday entitled Still My Wave. So We had him on last week. We ran a contest with him. The response was amazing. But our winner that we are happy to announce is a creator in himself, is a guy who actually owns his own men's boutique out in Passaic, New Jersey. So let's go ahead. Without further ado, let's get to our winner, our guy, Malcolm Garret. Again, shout out to our guy, Malcolm Garret. We got him on the line now. Congratulations again for winning the contest, the Wavy Strike Talk challenge. And why don't you go ahead and give the listeners a little backstory about yourself?
My name is Malcolm. I'm from Paterson, New Jersey. Basically, right now, I'm managing a men's boutique in Passaic called the Sneaker Studio. It's a business venture. Me and my boy started. He texted me one day, and he just was like, "Yo, I hate my job," and I'm like, "Yeah, me too." And at the time, I was working for Nike, and he was like, "Listen, I want to start up a men's boutique. I'm gonna need you to help me." And I was like, "Whatever, anything you need." And then, we went to go look at storefronts and all this, places where to put the store. We found a spot in Passaic, and we just opened up. And we've been open for like 7 or 8 years. We've been open.
Wow.
So I've been doing that. I've had every job you could think of in life, man. I sold cologne on the streets. I've worked at ShopRite. I sold cars, Foot Locker, Nike. I did a lot, man. I'm 32. You know what I'm saying? I've done a lot in life. But once we started with the store, that I just put everything else to the side, and I was just helping him, man. It was one point where I was just helping him, and like I wasn't even making no money. Like I was just doing it because I saw the picture, I saw the vision. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And as time went by, next thing you know, he's like, "Yo, listen, I just need you to run the store." So now we travel. You ever heard of Agenda Show?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so we go to Agenda shows every year. You know what I mean? And get to travel, do stuff like that. And as far as like customizing sneakers, I've always been artistic, and I've always been into sneakers. So one day, I think like 2 years ago, December this year, it'll be 2 years I've been doing this. So I'm still kind of new.
Wow.
Yeah, so one day I just woke up, and I was like, "Yo, let me try this." Next thing you know, I was doing my shoes. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't perfect, but I just worked at it and worked at it and worked at it. And now I'm here.
Man, we love creators, man. That's what I think is so crazy about Adidas. They're the creator brand. And so a lot of people that tend to be, attached to the brand or love the brand, they're always creating something. So that's definitely cool to see that you and your homeboy create your own business out there and, doing it strong 7 years later. That's what it's all about. So go back to this sneaker that caught my eyes and Ray's eyes and a lot of other people's eyes, the human race joints that you did. Go on and tell what you were kind of thinking about for that and what all went into making that product.
It is basic, man. Like, a friend of mine, he hit me up. He's like, "Yo, I got these human races." And he's like, "But I never seen them before." And I'm like, so I looked at them and I'm like, I've seen Pharrell with them on. So they're out there, but I'm like, I don't know when they came out. So he's like, "Listen, just can you customize them for me just to kind of throw people off? Because if they not real, I don't want to be walking around with them and people like, yo, those ain't real. So just customize them." And I just said, I'm going to camouflage them. I'm going to camo out the whole shoe and just make it pop with the orange. Subtle things like that could take a shoe from 0 to 100.
Real quick. You know what I mean?
Real quick. You know what I'm saying? So that orange, I just threw it on there. And like I said, to go back to like whether, the shoe is authentic or not, I have no idea, to be honest, man. I just did the artwork, you know what I'm saying?
Most definitely not. And those things is fire, regardless of where they came from, they fire.
Yeah.
And I love, like Jonathan said, like our tagline this whole year, and you even seen the commercials, like for Adidas, has always been like the creator brands. And it's so funny how like these things kind of happen. So we have, I'm not sure if you follow him or not, but Randy the Cobbler is going to be on this episode. He did a moccasin that he paired up with an NMD. And it's just like the craziest things, because you would think, like, you don't think about those things, and then when you ask them, like how he just asked you, like where the inspiration come from, it's like these little small details that end up making something great, like what you see in the finishing product. So you're absolutely right. Sometimes the smallest things can take it the furthest, and those NMDs are just fire. So we always ask our guests on the show, like, what's their top 3 favorite Adidas shoes of all time? So you can either do it that way, or you can even do what's the top 3, your top 3 favorite Adidas shoes that you customized.
I'm gonna go all time because the only Adidas I've been customizing is NMDs and Human Races. Obviously, the shell toes, that's a given. I used to wear those all the time. When I worked at Foot Locker, I used to buy tons of those. It's Adidas that they have. It from back in the day, it was a sock that it came with. I think it was a basketball shoe. And when you take the sock out, you could see the inside of the shoe.
Oh, I think it was the EQTs.
EQT.
Yeah, basketball.
Yeah,
the
yo,
EQT basketball.
Oh my God, that shoe. That's one of the best shoes Adidas ever made, in my opinion. Because it was so dope, the colors they was coming out with. And then, like, at that point, that was the first time you ever could really, like, take a sock out of a shoe, like, take the inside out of a shoe and just maybe wear it around the house or something. Or even flip them and change the color and put a different one in. You know what I mean?
No, that's fire. Yeah, that's a great call out. I haven't even heard anybody mention those. But those was, like, the thing back in the late 80s, early 90s, and then they probably retroed them again when you was working.
Like,
that was fire. The EQT joints?
Yeah, man, that shoe is classic. Like, that's one of my favorite sneakers, like, of all time, man, because you could just take that sock out, go get another sock, put that in there, you know what I mean? And the colors that they was coming out with, it's crazy. And then the other shoe, the last shoe is the Attitude High.
The Attitude High. Dang, you bringing it back on us.
Yeah, I had the Patrick Ewing joints because this is back when everybody was rocking jerseys.
Right.
So I had the Mitchell & S Patrick Ewing, the white joint with the Attitude Highs.
The dope thing I love about the Attitudes that people sleep on, they actually still had that trefoil leaves on the back of the shoe. Like, they didn't even have the Adidas badge of sport. They had the trefoil leaves.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
classic shoes.
Those was hard. Those was definitely hard. I like that. That top 3 is pretty hard to mess with because I definitely cannot sleep on any of those shoes. As far as Boost goes, like, are there any newer Adidas shoes that you've been taking a liking to as well? Because that top 3 is fire. We don't want to mess with that top 3, but
I just bought some Adidas, some See You Laters. I just bought some of those.
Oh, okay, the boots. Yeah.
I customized them though. I bought them all white, and I did some like freaky colors to them, like color block. It's on my page.
Yeah, I was gonna say I did see that on your website. It had like it was almost like a what the kind of color.
Yeah. It was just like I just threw mad colors together. I was up at like 2 a.m. I just was like, whatever. Let me just be different. That's my thing. Like, I'm a color scheme guy. I just like color. Like, I don't do the drawing on shoes too. Like, really, that's not really my lane. But the See You Later, I like those. And then there's certain NMDs I like. I like the ones, the high ones, the higher ones. I forgot the name.
Talking about the NMD XR1s, the PX.
XR1s, yeah.
Yes, yep.
I just got a pair of all whites. Yep.
The olive ones are crazy.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. Well, we always ask people a little different question, man. So if there's an athlete or an influencer that's signed to Adidas that you want to meet or connect with, who would it be and why, man?
Let me see. Pharrell, man. Pharrell.
Can't go wrong with Skateboard P at all.
Yeah,
you
man.
can't go wrong with Skateboard P.
He just seems so like chill, down to earth, and cool. Like he doesn't seem like one of those celebrities, right? You meet him like, Pharrell, what's up? And he looking at you like, chill, like don't talk to me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He just like it just seems like if you're around him, like you're in like some type of orb, like some positive orb.
Definitely the vibes. Yeah, Pharrell
man.
Vibes could be that could probably make the world a better place, honestly. If I had that vibe.
And he's just an innovator and a creator. Like this is a guy who, you know, he came out musically first, but like he touched so many genres of music. I mean, even what he did with the Minions movie, Despicable Me, I'm sorry, how he scored that movie, but then he goes back and then produces a song for Pusha T or Jay-Z or Britney Spears, you know what I'm saying? And then to bring his creativity to the world of Adidas, it's like, yo, like this dude is just a creator. Like I look at myself as a creator too, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not on his level, like as far as celebrity wise. But you know,
not yet.
You know, not yet. And to be honest, man, I'm not the guy. Like I don't want to be like all in the newspaper, like cameras in front of me. Like I just want people to know my name and know what I do, appreciate what I do, and make some cash off of it.
There's definitely a lot of people like that. You know what I mean? Leave your mark, but at the same time, there's a difference between leaving your mark and being famous for. You know what I mean? Nobody. Not everybody wants to deal with the nonsense that comes with being famous. So I totally understand that.
Yeah, man, and just, you know, make opportunities for other people. Like give people, you know, a chance to get a job and, you know, pave the way like people paved the way for me. Basically.
No doubt, man. We respect the hell out of that. That's for sure. Go ahead, let the people know where they can find you at on social media. So drop your social media and also, you know, the website that they can follow you on.
I'm on Instagram at Malcolm Garret. That's MALCOLMGARRET, all one word, at Malcolm Garret. My website is bymalcolmgarret.com, all one word. And that's pretty much it, man. You know, I built the website not too long ago just to give people a portfolio of what I've done and what I can do. And I also have a question and answer section up there where if you have questions on shipping and turnaround time, pricing, how long will the shoe last? You know, most of the questions I get asked, I put up there and I got the answer to it. My contact info is there. Everything right there in one click you can get on the website. And as far as my Instagram, you know, you can see work up there too. You know, my Instagram is not flooded with, you know, anything but business and, you know, a few, you know, personal things here and there as far as like fashion and stuff. Because at the end of the day, I do manage a men's boutique, so I have to show you what I'm selling. You know what I'm saying?
We got you for sure. Well, thank you again for joining the show, Malcolm. We appreciate it so much, and definitely good luck in the future, man.
All right, fellas, man. Appreciate you guys.
Well, today we definitely want to take some time out and shout out a crazy new product that Adidas is launching, the Uncaged Ultra Boost Parlay. Obviously, it's an amazing partnership with Parlay and using plastics recycled from the ocean into shoes. So 95% of the shoe is going to be made up on the upper of nothing but recycled plastics. And obviously, there's going to be some soccer jerseys that they're going to throw into the mix, man. Go on and give us some more details, Ray.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, soccer jerseys, you got Bayern Munich, Real Madrid. Bayern's already came out. Real Madrid is coming out later in the month. So it's really cool to see that Adidas is caring about our environment and making sure that we not only do our best to try to save the environment and do better, but also it's going to in turn give us more products. So with this shoe, it's a typical Ultra Boost Uncaged, but it has those parlays which will help the material, like Jonathan said, with the prime knit upper. So as far as our teching goes, fill, fit, transition, it's going to fit flawlessly. Obviously, the prime knit upper just makes it so that your foot is always comfortable on the top of the shoe. The energy is unrivaled. It has no limits. It has boost full length, so that's as great as it gets. And then as far as traction goes, you know, Traction has the stretch web outsole, which fits nice and natural, complete with Continental rubber on it, which gives you that superior traction. It allows the shoe to always adapt to your foot. So I think they're going to be a great shoe. I cannot wait to try them on. Hopefully I'm lucky enough to cop a pair today. But yeah, everybody else, definitely go out there and support, man. I think Adidas is doing really, really big things. I heard a rumor that in the year 2017 coming up, they're looking to make over 1 million different shoes using that Parlay recycled material. So that's huge.
Big ups, man, because if the ocean dies, we die, man. So definitely got to support on that project. So what you got for words of wisdom this week, man?
Oh, man, ocean dies, we die. Let me see. So for my quote this week, I'm going to go with one from Maxine Hong Kingston. Don't know what she does, but the quote was pretty cool. It is, in a time of destruction, create something. So I'm always waking up trying to create something new, and I love Stripe Talk because we're able to do that on a weekly basis. And that's going to be my quote of the week, my friend. What about you?
Because obviously this is a crazy time for us. We're really, really busy going on. But there's also a lot of opportunities out there. So I feel like a shot not taken is simply a missed opportunity. So make sure you're out there taking advantage of all the opportunities that you have in front of you. Make sure you're not putting limits on anything that you got going on. And just keep out there fighting, man, because we're definitely doing the same over here, man.
Yep. And with that being said, man, Stripe Talk, we out.